guys. I hope that you all are doing very, very well. I apologize for my extended absence. I had some stuff come up in my personal life. I had some stuff come up in my personal life, and I was not able to film for a little bit. I am doing much better now, though. So, yeah. I thought that today I could just do a little life update kind of chat. Just kind of, updating life. And, if you're hearing this, I would love to hear an update on your life as well. And I mean that. I know a lot of YouTubers are like, drop this in the comments, and it's like, we all know you're doing that, just like get engagement. But like genuinely, like if something exciting has happened to you, or if something awful has happened to you, or if things are just kind of mediocre right now, like I read all my comments. Please don't take that as a sign that you should leave me hate comments, because I'll see them, because I don't read hate comments. I read far enough to know that this is going nowhere and I stop reading. But I read all my comments, and I would love to hear, I don't know, anything. Like, share your story as much or as little as you feel comfortable with, and I'll read it. I won't read it like on a video or something. This is not like, I feel like I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but yeah, it won't like be in a video. I'm not gonna like share your story in a video without like talking to you. Anyways, I'm making this into too long of a thing, but please feel free to share your story in general in the comments if you feel as though you would want to, and I would enjoy it. So, trying to decide how much to share. I was having some issues with my mental health, specifically my PTSD, and my depression. And anxiety, but I mean, like, I don't know why I always lump anxiety in. I think that for me, I'm an incredibly anxious person, but I think that in my mind, I'm just like, well, everyone feels that way. Everyone, like, if a friend is like 15 minutes late, everyone spirals into thinking that they're not going to show up and they've been forgotten, and you're just going to be sitting alone here at this restaurant forever, dang it. So, but yeah, so I tried to get some more intensive treatment, but it really didn't work out. The state of healthcare in America, especially mental health care, is abysmal right now. Like, I have stories from the place I went to and stuff, and like some of it is just like unbelievable. But so I ended up being like, okay, this isn't working. I don't feel safe here. So I came back to my apartment. I went a solid like 3 weeks of being like, I think I should move to like St. Pete in Florida. And I was like looking at apartments. I was like ready to go. Decided not to do that. I was like, well, because I get seasonal depression really bad, and I'm also very sensitive to the cold. So I tend to self-isolate in winter, because I'm seasonally depressed from no sun, and then just like going out in the cold is like, I have a temperature regulation disorder, and so like if I go out in the cold, I have to be all bundled up, and I'll still be cold, and then I'll need to take a hot bath Stay the course, girly. Stay the course, girly pop. And then so now I'm here, and I start up next semester on January 16th. So, which I'm nervous for. I had considered taking this semester off, and try and do something else less stressful, because it's very stressful, my school. But I eventually just was no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna power through, and I'm gonna get my degree, dang it. So proud of myself. I'm trying to be more proud of myself. The other day I was having a conversation with my psychiatrist, and he's hilarious. He's 45, and he has a British accent, and he's very I don't know, he's just hilarious. And I was he was well, what are you doing to try and help with all of the, issues you're experiencing? And I was well, I'm really trying to be kinder to myself, because I've realized the way that I talk to myself in my head is really awful. And he just nodded aggressively. It's yeah. And I was you don't even hear my thoughts, and you know how bad they are. But I always expect perfection from myself, and if it's anything less than that, I feel like a failure. And I realized I'm yeah, well, of course school feels miserable for you, because I do all the work, and then no matter what, I still am it's not good enough, and I'm not proud of myself. And it's you gotta be proud of yourself to continue seeing the benefit of doing something. If you do something and you're just well, you're not gonna keep doing it, because it's what's the point? That's my little life hack, I guess. But I was not able to have a therapist, because I just couldn't find one when I moved out here. But I've been searching pretty hard to try and find an EMDR therapist, and I think I found one. I'm meeting with her tomorrow, so hopefully that goes well. Yeah, so that's for EMDR, which if you haven't heard of it, it's eye movement something, I don't know, I don't know what it stands for, but it's a technique of therapy. It's very different from talk therapy, where basically you do something to stimulate the left and right side of your brain. So that could be eye movement, following, that's how it was done classically. That's why it's called, eye movement. But lately, people tend to use different ways. One of the ways I was taught is to do tapping like this, because it stimulates both the left and right side of your brain, or tapping like that on your pants. Or you can have clickers that you click, or you could have audio you listen to, or even lights. My cat just crawled up onto the table, so if things you see, yeah, that little was from the cat. Yeah, so, and the purpose of it is to process traumatic memories, and it rapidly helps your brain to process it, and file it away so that it doesn't keep causing pain in daily life. So I've heard it's very good. It's kind of, I don't know why I should not find this exciting, but, I did like some introduction to EMDR stuff, and typically they spend a while prepping you. Is there like, like when you do EMDR, like you're unlocking a box, and you need to be prepared for that, and you need to be ready for that, and you need to have the tools to lock that box again so that you can function. So they have you do like visualization exercises of like a safe place in vivid detail that you can go to in your mind, and like having like a box that you can put traumatic things into and then lock the box and like come back to it later. It's all very interesting. I really wanted to study psychology for a while, but it's not my wheelhouse. But I love stuff like that. I love learning about like psychology and stuff, even if it's just through my own mental health diagnoses. So yeah, so we're doing that. I'm excited to get back into classes. I'm also kind of terrified. Sorry, that was again the cat, if you could hear that. But yeah, because people at my school are very intense. They're very intense. And they're not very, like, friendly. I had a really hard time making friends last semester, and I finally just came to the conclusion, like, I'm gonna try and find friends more in, like, the community and less at the school to an extent, because I'm just not very similar to most of my classmates. And I thought about transferring, but I don't want to do that, partly because I don't want to transfer again, and partly because I'm getting a fabulous education here for what I want to study, and I can deal with people who I'm not very similar to, to get a good, solid education with good connections and stuff. So, but I've been doing things around the local community, trying to get connected, get involved. I've been really trying to limit my social media usage, because I didn't have my phone for a time when I was doing some mental health care stuff, and it was wonderful. I felt so much better, like literally so much better. So what I've done is I delete all the social media apps off my phone, and I have like 2 set times that I will allow myself to like go on social media and like check stuff out and like do stuff, So I do it in the morning. Once I've like gotten ready for the day, I'll like sit down and drink my smoothie and check the socials. And then after 6 p.m., I can check my socials again. I try not to like let myself check it throughout the day. I don't check it throughout the day. I delete the apps in between the times that I use them, so that I have to like go through the steps of like downloading the app and like doing all that, so it's less tempting, And I found it to be really helpful. My attention span is so much better now than it was. I need to sit up straight. What am I doing? My back is hurting. Oh, this is nice. Wow. I found it to be really helpful and a lot better. And it's hard. Like, I'm not saying it's not hard. It's very hard. Like, there are so many times where I really want, like, I just have the overwhelming urge to check my phone. But I've really been not doing it, just at those set times, So, and also at the end of the set time, I like cut myself off. Like, I don't go back to it, Like, I sit there and I check it for as long as I am entertained checking it, and then I move off. I also don't have a TikTok at all. I could not handle TikTok. I think that TikTok is the downfall of a generation. After letting that drama hang in the air, I will say, I don't think it's necessarily, but I think that it shows where we're at with people's attention spans, and I think that that's kind of troubling. But I've never had TikTok, and I don't. Well, I have a TikTok for my ASMR, but I don't like use it. Like, I go on the web version and like post stuff, but I am not interacting on TikTok. I mean, well, if you like comment or something, I'll interact, but I don't like go and like swipe through other people's videos. I do sometimes get caught up in the YouTube shorts though. I've tried to find a way to get it so that they aren't on my screen, but sometimes I fall and I see one that I think, oh, I just want to see this one, and that's why I know I couldn't have TikTok. But speaking of social media, so I made a stupid choice. All right. I'm ashamed of this decision. Truly and honestly, this is me bearing my soul. I stumbled across this subreddit, which is already a bad start to a story. And I was like, the subreddit, it was, "Am I ugly?" And I was like, I'm in a fragile place with my mental health. I have low self-esteem. Let's post a photo. That'll be great. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking, like, truth be told, my hair doesn't look great right now, so don't judge me on that. I mean, or do whatever you want. I just got bangs, and I don't really know what to do with them yet, but okay, besides the point. I don't think that I am extraordinarily, like, beautiful or anything. Like, I by no means think that. I feel like you see, like, people in those rating videos, and women often rate themselves, like, 9s or something, and it's like, well, realistically, like, there aren't that many 9s in the world. Like, maybe that person is, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think people forget, like, it's a scale. Like, it's, like, people only ever rate themselves at the top. And so I like the way I look. I know that there are things that I could do to make myself more appealing to the male gaze, like having short hair, and, like, I know that there are things that I could do, but I like the way I look, and that's what matters. It feels very authentic to me. But I decided to post a couple photos. And I deliberately did not post my headshot photos because those are professionally photographed photos, and I was like, that's not fair. Like, I'm not gonna put, like, professionally, with some touch-up photos on here. Like, that's not. And I posted a picture of me without any makeup. There was only one picture in there where I had on a full face of makeup. And I was like, well, like, let's just see people's, like, perspectives, like, and I don't know what I was expecting, because I know it's the internet, and it's also Reddit. So, like, I know now that really wasn't the place to go for unbiased opinions of the way that I look, because I also think it's not, of course, it's subjective anyways, but I feel like you can generally look at someone and be like, are you ugly by, the weird beauty standards that we've set up, which I also don't agree with. Not here to please the beauty standards either. I think most of them are crap. I think all of them are crap. So I post this photo, and all these people start calling me ugly. I was like, all right, that's fine. That's great. But, not a great thing to hear when you're, like, struggling with your mental health and everything. So, yeah, that was my fun little experience that actually wasn't very fun. And I think it felt worse because I asked, like, if someone were to comment here and be like, you're ugly, I'd be like, did I ask for your opinion? Like, the point of this channel is not for me to sit here and look pretty for you. This is top-notch ASMR with a hint of poisonality. But anyways, I do tend to, like, put on a little something to accentuate the features when I do these videos. But I'm not a full-face makeup girly. So yeah, that was my little experience. I would recommend probably don't do that. Yeah, especially on Reddit. Like, you're fine just the way you are. And that's the truth. You know who the most beautiful people are? People who are confident in themselves. And it's true. That's not just like a weird saying of like, you can be pretty if you try. It's like, no, like the people who you're drawn to are the people who are personable and confident and like don't apologize for themselves, Like, obviously say your apologies when you need to, but like, the kind of people who don't go around being like, oh sorry, like, am I bothering you? Like, the people who are just self-assured. Those are the people that are like the hottest in my mind. Because there are a lot of people who are pretty according to, like the beauty standards and such. And a lot of times, like, having spoken to those people, I feel bad for them because it's clear that their life is about trying to maintain this standard. And I am not at all saying that you shouldn't do whatever the heck you want, okay? If you want to get Botox, go do it. If you want to, get your eyebrows microbladed, I'm not like someone who's like, girls should be natural. Why are we doing all this fake stuff? Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying people who do that stuff because they feel like they have to fit this model so that people will like them and, guys will think they're hot and all that stuff. I fully support people doing whatever they want with their bodies and modifying them as they see fit. If it makes you happy to, like, I don't know, get a nose job, like, go for it. Do it. I support you. People started a rumor that I got a nose job when I was in high school. Which I clearly did not. You can look at that nose, like, please. But that didn't seem to matter to them. They just, so what happened was I had sinus surgery, like, on my left side. They cleared out infection. Like, they just flushed out my sinuses really intensely with surgery, basically, because the infection was so bad, there was no other way. But, so I had, like, bruising on my nose when I came back, and I told people, I was like, yeah, I had surgery on my sinuses. And they're like, oh my gosh, she got a nose job. And I was like, does my nose look any different to you? Are you stupid? Like, look at my nose. I was also a young child at this point, so, like, don't judge me. I also didn't say that to them, but in my mind I was just like, are you serious? Does my nose look any different? Because it doesn't. I can tell you it doesn't, because they didn't do anything. They, like, put the instruments up into my sinuses through my nose. There were not any outside, like, changes. It was just all, like, internal. So I was like, okay, whatever. Sure, Jan. But yeah. And I've picked up crocheting. I haven't, crocheted a project yet. I'm just, like, practicing stitches and stuff 2 or 3 hours long, which I think is crazy. At the school I transferred from, classes were 50 minutes long. But I'll let you know how they go. Yeah. My nose is itchy. Alright, well, thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon. And I will see you all next time. Feel free to like and subscribe if you wish. You don't have to. It's not a requirement by any means. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Sometimes, okay, I know that I don't have very many viewers, so this is kind of true, but sometimes I just sit here and I forget that I'm talking to someone who will hear this. It's just I kind of just go on a diatribe, and I'm just so, because that's hard to grasp, that someone would sit and watch it's probably my insecurity showing through. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and and as I mentioned back in the beginning, 30 long minutes ago, feel free to drop how your life is going in the comments. I would love to know. I love to get to know people and hear people's stories. I'm an actor, so that makes it sound like I'm monetizing people's trauma. I'm not. I'm just saying I find a lot of interest in people's lives. It's wow, you are a potato farmer from Idaho, and your potato truck broke down, and you're having to buy a new potato truck, and you have to go to Indiana to buy it. That's fascinating to me. It's yeah. It also reminds me that not everyone lives a silly little life in a silly little city like Boston, which I wouldn't call myself a city gal, and sometimes this city feels a little much.